Why hello, I'm on a park bench, but like literally like a theme park bench. As I've already said a million times in other videos, I recently moved from East Tennessee over to Milwaukee, Wisconsin here. So my new home park is Six Flags Great America here in Gurnee, Illinois. It's only about 40-ish minutes for me. It's actually closer than Dollywood was. So anyways, I always really enjoyed doing the construction updates I would do at Dollywood, just kind of talking about different projects going on around the park, especially considering how far behind I am on editing my vlogs. It's probably gonna be a long time before you see most of what's going on at Great America in vlog form, so I figured I'd do updates here as well. There's not really construction going on right now here per se, but there's a few interesting projects I'll cover. I will note that I'm not gonna be talking about any of the like decorations really for the Halloween event and stuff, because there's just so much going on with that the video would be way too long and take way too long to make. But just thought I'd do a quick construction update on some things around the park so I could get this video out quick while you wait for the vlogs from like today that'll come out like 8 months at this point. It's rough, but whatever. Anyways, the biggest project going on in the park right now that I'm sure if you know anything about this park you've heard about is that Raging Bull is being repainted. The part behind me is already done. They've been moving pretty fast on this project. Whatever day Rip Ride Rockit closed, I forgot what day that was, but whatever day Rip Ride Rockit closed is when this closed to have its repaint done. And again, they've been moving pretty fast. The company that's doing it is the same company that did Thunderstriker at Carowinds. It was Intimidator when they repainted it, but they did that project and now they're doing this. So they did a really good job on the Carowinds one. They haven't given like a firm timetable on when it'll reopen. They're just trying to get it done as fast as possible, and as soon as it's done, it will reopen, hopefully before the end of the season. It's probably gonna be a little bit rough tonight with as crowded as this event gets, having our, you know, main capacity monster people-eating coaster out of commission. But hopefully within the next couple weeks, they'll be able to get it running before like the end of Fright Fest when it gets really bad around Halloween. But anyways, again, they've been moving fast. Let's take a look. So just walking into Southwest Territory here where Raging Bull resides, I was just kind of struck by how the paint looks. It is shiny. It is glowing, just glowing orange. Very nice. Supports look nice too. It's all the exact same color that it was before, and honestly, it doesn't look that much different. I think people were being a little bit dramatic with how bad the paint looked before. Like, here's the turn that they haven't really done yet, so it's hard to tell on camera, but like kind of near the top there's the old paint. You can see how faded it is. There's the new paint, so it's definitely like a nice refresher, but you know, I don't think it's that dramatic of a change. But it's nice to see them taking care of this ride, especially since it's been so long since it was last repainted. So you can probably tell it's Saturday, and yet they are working on Saturday. They are working on the first turn here right after the drop, first turnaround. It seems to be the last major section that's not been painted yet. You can see them up there. I saw them going a second ago. They literally just have paint rollers. I kind of wondered what they would do, if they would like spray paint or what. But they literally just have rollers, and they're painting the track with paint rollers. It's pretty cool. Most of the coaster repaints I see occur during like the off season, so this is actually the first time I've ever seen like people actively painting a coaster while the park's open. You can walk and just see them doing it. It's pretty cool. And you can barely see over the buildings, kind of going behind there, but we'll get a better view in a second. There's a guy hanging from a suspended basket under the lift hill, painting the bottom side of the lift hill there. But yeah, all this has already been done. You can kind of see it's just very shiny. It doesn't come across very well on camera, I don't think. The colors are very vibrant and shiny in person. Nothing quite like brand new paint on a coaster. Again, really not sure how most of this is going to come across on camera in terms of the color vibrancy and what you'll actually be able to see. This is a pretty good angle where you can see the turn there, the last part of that turn that hasn't been touched yet with paint, and then you can see all the repainted first hill, first drop, all that, so you can really see the difference in the paint color there. It'll look really nice when it's done. And there's your sign. This attraction is temporarily closed for improvements. Personally, I kind of hoped whenever they closed this ride to repaint it, they would add some more kind of theming throughout the layout. Like it was originally when it opened, it was supposed to have like some Western town facades you would dive through, but those got budget cut out and were never added. So I thought it'd be cool if they added those back, but it does seem like this is just the repaint, especially with the capacity of that ride. Supplies during the busy Fright Fest time period, it seems like they really just want to get the paint done and get it reopened as soon as possible. So the paint will probably be the only improvement we see to the ride, but we'll see, who knows. All right, I do have a maybe exciting update about the elephant in the room behind me. If you visit here a lot or you keep up with this park, you probably know that Maxx Force went down for some kind of mechanical issue in like mid-July or like the beginning of July and has not been back open since. Meanwhile, the trains have been taken off the track for a while there. In August, they had a big portion of the launch track actually taken apart, working on stuff inside of there. So we didn't really know what was going on. As of this weekend, it has started testing again. They have, I think it's just one train that they have on right now. I could be mistaken. I'm gonna try to get a better look in a second, but they have been testing literally all day today. I'm sorry, I don't have a ton of footage of it because they keep, they'll like take a break from testing every time I get my camera out. They really don't want me to get a video. Okay, I think it's about to go right now. Yeah, I got that unmistakable sonic boom. I did see some people online were saying it was interesting, the dynamic of the park without that sonic boom. It was almost a little bit nicer, some people thought, but a lot of other people are excited for that to be back. Anyways, this was maybe my favorite coaster in the park when I rode it. I rode it July 4th, and I never got to ride it again because it went down like right after that. So good thing I went that weekend and got on it. It's really short, but it's just such an incredible launch that I feel like that makes the whole ride for me. But I need to ride it more to get a better feel of it, which I haven't been able to do, which makes it hard for me to rate coasters at this park. So I'm happy. Hopefully it'll be back open soon. Like I said, it has been testing like literally all day today, cycle after cycle after cycle. So hopefully in the next couple weeks here, it and Raging Bull will both be reopened. Of course, it is possible that they could just be testing to try to get some numbers on something and then it'll go, or it'll stay down. Maybe they're just trying to check what happens if they adjust a certain variable or get some more testing data so that then they can determine what other adjustments may need to be made. So that's always possible. But hopefully it's testing because it's fixed and they're gonna reopen soon. I don't know though. Either way, at least the sound's back. You can't ride it, but the sound's back. All right, yeah, so here's the signage. We have the bigger sign, this attraction is unavailable for today. Then we have the smaller sign behind it. So yeah, it's about the same as what it's looked like for the past 2 or 3 months. The difference is now it is actually testing. So that's worth something. There it goes again. All right, full disclosure, we are in 100% speculation territory now. The park hasn't said anything about this, but rumor has it that this is the last year for the go-karts. As you may know, last year when Six Flags weirdly made all their 2026 vague announcements in 2024, it was said that Great America here would be getting a brand new kids area for 2026. We don't know if that's happening at this point because the company's been struggling a bit, so they've been cutting back a lot of capital expenditure and other stuff, unfortunately. So a lot of 2026 projects have been delayed or canceled at this point. So we haven't heard anything about this, so we have no idea, and we haven't heard anything. I'm kind of like, I don't know. But if we still do get our kids area in 2026, our new kids area, the rumor would be that it would be going right here, replacing the go-karts. It's no secret that Six Flags and Cedar Fair have been removing upcharge attractions from as many of their parks as they can, seemingly. And this is, I think, the last upcharge left at Great America. It's just go-karts. It's kind of ugly. It takes up a lot of space where there's no shade and asphalt, which is not great on those hot days. And it just takes up a big chunk of land here in the middle of this park. And this park is pretty developed. So there's really not much space to put extra things. So they'd definitely probably be looking to take this out to facilitate future expansion on this very large plot of land here. And rumor has it this is the last year. And it may have already given its last rides, because as you can see, all the carts are over there. It's not operating today, and they've actually removed it from the app. So yeah, that doesn't bode well. If you wanted to get your last rides on the go-karts here, you may have already missed your chance. I personally never rode it, because every time I was here, I was like, oh, I'm gonna ride it just because it might be gone, and it would be closed. So I never got to ride it either. But it doesn't matter, it's just go-karts. In my opinion, go-karts don't really belong at a park like this anyway, so I'd be happy to see them gone if they are leaving. Again, pure speculation, but almost every time I'm here, they're not open. So kind of makes me think that they might be on their way out. I'm noticing now there used to be like Looney Tunes character statues throughout the go-kart area. All of those Looney Tunes statues have been removed. So that has a couple interesting implications. Could certainly imply the go-karts are on the way out. They're removing some of the statues of the go-karts. Also interesting because a lot of people thought that Six Flags would be moving a lot of the Peanuts themed Camp Snoopy and Planet Snoopy areas from the Cedar Fair parks over to Looney Tunes, because the licensing agreement was more favorable for Looney Tunes, but they did renew their Peanuts license this week. And yeah, we see the Looney Tunes characters gone here now, so that kind of seems to suggest that maybe they'll be transitioning from Looney Tunes to Peanuts at some of the Six Flags parks. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Yeah, very good plot of land. Great America here already has 3 different kids areas, but they all kind of suck. So we do kind of need a good kids area. This is a really nice plot of land. You could do a really nice kids area here, a really nice like Camp Snoopy would be really nice, and that would tie in well with the Yukon Territory area theme-wise. To have Camp Snoopy here, it would just flow really well. And then you'd be right next to Little Dipper, which is our kiddie wooden coaster with an interesting history there. So that just makes sense to me. You incorporate Little Dipper as a kids coaster into this new kids area on this plot of land. Then you can remove 1 or 2 of the other kiddie areas that kind of suck and do another, I'd say, major attraction there, because I don't think we need 4 kids areas, but it would make sense to have a fresh slate here to just do whatever, and then, you know, replace some of the other kids areas with more major attractions. So it's all kind of up in the air, pure speculation. I don't know, but keep your eye on that go-kart track. Might be transformed into a new Camp Snoopy or something like that. Okay, obviously I'm home, it's the next day, but I didn't properly wrap that up, so I wanted to real quick with just a few other small things I noticed around the park. I haven't been quite going to this park long enough to notice the really minute little changes to things the way I would over at Dollywood, so. But for now, I did notice that on Demon's first tunnel there, they have added some new like LED light strips in there. I wouldn't call it like thematic or atmospheric. They're just literally like white LED strips. I think that's kind of lame. I think they could have done much more interesting things in that tunnel. They just look a little weird in my opinion, but that is something that's changed. Unfortunately with Demon, a lot of the lighting and sound effects that apparently used to be in the second tunnel between the loops and the like hop up into the corkscrews, that tunnel by the train used to have flashing lights and sound effects. I've seen it in some POVs, but that hasn't been working at all this year, so I've never experienced that, and that's still not working. Also, there's still no song in the station or queue line for Demon. I don't know if it's station or queue because I've heard different things, but I have heard the Illinois Demon still uses the song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Great American Demon song. It's hilarious. I love it.
You're on a trip in the grip of the demon. Is the demon a creation of your imagination? How will you feel if he's real? The demon is a master. He'll smile as you go faster, then he'll sneak up behind you. Have you ever seen the demon? Have you ever heard him scream?
California one doesn't use it. In Illinois, every time I've been this year since July, has not been used. So I've heard it hasn't been used at all this year. Apparently they used it up until last year. So I keep hearing people say they're going to bring it back really soon. It's just because of something or other, but it's still not back. So it's depressing. So yeah, I'd say overall Demon is still a husk of what it could be in terms of atmosphere, but they added some LED lights, I guess. A little more positive over at Wrath of Rakshasa. My understanding is that the ride opened before a lot of the theming and stuff was really ready. So they've just been kind of working on it as the season's been going on, which I definitely noticed in my first vlog. There were a lot of some weird stuff going on. I was like, I think this ride's pretty rushed, and evidently it was. But anyways, they have put up speakers in the queue line, which is nice because one of my complaints of the queue line for Wrath is that it's just like awkwardly silent. They have put up speakers in the queue line, so hopefully those will eventually be used for some kind of thematic soundtrack or something. Personally, I really hope they go for like an I'm a Score soundtrack, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point. But if they can at least do something with those speakers to create a bit of atmosphere and ambiance in the queue the way that something like Siren's Curse does, that would be pretty awesome. There's also like 1 million speakers lining the lift hill on both sides, so I assume that those will be used for like sound effects, music, or both. Maybe even some story narration going up the lift hill at some point. Otherwise, I don't know why you would have that many of them. It's clearly not just for like safety announcements, because most of the other coasters have like 2 or 3 speakers on the lift. This has like a bunch. So it's very clearly going to be used for something music or sound effect wise. Eventually, we'll see if that ends up being this season or next season. They're still not turned on yet. At the very top of Wrath's lift hill, also, there are, I don't know when these were added. I think they seem to be pretty recent. There are 4 like ginormous speakers, 2 kind of pointing towards the lift and 2 kind of pointing out towards the hold position of the actual drop. So almost certainly those will be used for like a drop sound effect of some sort, which would be really awesome. I think that would really add a lot to the ride, both on and off ride, to have some kind of sound effect with the drop. We'll see how cheesy it is, but yeah, I have no idea why else you would have 4 ginormous speakers at the top of the lift there positioned in that way. So they'll almost certainly be used for that, but again, not sure if that'll be this year or if we're gonna have to wait till next year for a lot of the final theming for Wrath to come together. The B&Ms are back on 2 trains. Superman, Batman, and X-Flight were running with 1 train for a while there in August, but they were all running with 2 trains. So that's good that they got their second trains back on those. And yeah, that's all I can really think of in terms of update type stuff I saw around the park yesterday. Again, I'm not quite as familiar with this park as I was with Dollywood before to be able to pick up on those minor changes around the park, but that should get better with time. If you like these kind of updates, then let me know what kinds of stuff you'd like me to try to look out for in my future Great America, or even maybe some other park updates. You know, just let me know what you'd like to see in these. Let me know what you'd like me to be on the lookout for, so I can let you all know about it. If you're new, I'd appreciate a subscription for more Great America updates in the future, and a bunch of vlogs from this summer that I'm currently working through. Those will be pretty fun. Feel free to leave a like. That helps with the YouTube algorithm thing. We think. We don't really know, but we think. And also, I'd appreciate if you sent this to any of your friends that are interested in like some updates around Great America, because I've been trying to push out a little bit more content and a little bit higher quality, all that kind of stuff on this channel, trying to really work towards something. So, and it's no secret that the YouTube algorithm's a little tough right now, and the coaster space on YouTube is pretty oversaturated and is kind of niche to begin with. So could really appreciate you all's help if you'd like to, if you know anybody that might enjoy my content. If not, no worries. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for watching. I hope to catch a ride with you again very soon.